Hello everyone, and now welcome to Game 3 in a series between TLO and HasuObs. So far, the HasuObs has taken a very large lead in this series, as HasuObs has a 2-0 lead so far. HasuObs spawning as the blue Protoss on the top right-hand side of the map, Liquid TLO spawning as the red Zerg on the bottom left of Cloud Kingdom. Game 3, and will TLO be able to rebound back and get on the scoreboard? It really felt like TLO had HasuObs' number early, but HasuObs just played the game very calmly. He wasn't too concerned. He took a deep breath and said, "You know what? I know how to handle this. Let me just get the right composition of units that I have, and then, or the right composition I need of, and then I'm just gonna walk forward and be able to pretty much move into whatever TLO has." And that's what you saw: Colossi, Void Rays, and Stalkers, and not even getting any High Templars, as those High Templars would have just made that army much slower, and the Psy Storm really wouldn't have been that effective. TLO looking to get on the board still as he spawns as the red Zerg on the bottom right, HasuObs the blue Protoss on the bottom left, top right, and HasuObs still making my head scratch a little bit with this particular build inside his base. Perhaps he likes not tipping his hand to what his opponent is doing, or to his opponent. Anytime you build towards your Zerg opponent, even if it is at your natural expansion, it makes it so much easier for the Zerg overlord to say, I know exactly what build you're doing, and I don't really have to worry. Coming back down over here, 9 o'clock position, you see TLO now establishing that hatchery. Also down here as well, at the 7 or 8 o'clock expansion, spawning pool is coming into play. This does look like it will be the economic game, as we still do not have any gas whatsoever. Now, Cloud Kingdom, are we going to perhaps see a base here in just a moment? I do believe so. As soon as TLO spots this one Nexus, he should be moving a drone over. And it looks like this drone will be building the third base at the 3-minute 30-second mark. So a little bit of an earlier hatchery than some other players, but really not that big of a risk, since he does already have his spawning pool in play. Now, you can take a look. This one particular probe has not spotted the third base as of yet. I do believe that HasuObs should find that base relatively quickly, and I'm curious as to what TLO is going to do to position himself to be able to defend against any early aggression. HasuObs now going into double gas inside his main. You can see Warp Gate already being researched. Are we perhaps going to get a Mothership Core off over here? That could be in the future. Mothership Core, obviously one of the necessary units to defend, and it looks like nope, it is not going to be a Mothership Core. I am simply waiting here for nope. It is a Mothership Core, and HasuObs just wants me to stumble over my words just a bit. Now, Mothership Core coming into play. High, obviously a benefit of being able to fly around the map. Even though it is a rather slow unit, it does reveal overlords rather quickly. So you can see the Mothership Core here, it does not have an air attack at all, but still a very effective unit here, as we now see, what is this Zealot going to do? The Zealot in a little bit of trouble trying to focus down Zerglings. Is it going to be able to get even one? No, I don't believe so. A lot of low hit point Zerglings there, and TLO really lucking out, and we'll see what the follow-up play will be next here. Now, coming across, Mothership Core now backing off. You can see that there is a hatchery already operational here. Are we perhaps going to see enough defense, as we are taking a bit of damage? This one particular overlord trying to hide in the corner, is it going to be enough? Stalker now trying to get over there. I don't believe it will be able to shoot down this overlord, as we now see Zerglings running away from a Stalker mid-map. All right, where is that Zergling looking to go? Pretty much nowhere, can't do anything at all, and we are now going to have this one Stalker still wander around. We are not getting into a third base yet for HasuObs. And TLO still sitting on a slight overall supply advantage. Alright, coming into the game now, HasuObs needs to figure out a way to apply some pressure to not allow TLO to freely drone and freely gather a whole bunch of minerals and basically abuse the fact that he's going to be on 3 bases while his opponent is on 2. We now see a Roach Warren coming in from TLO, something that we haven't seen in the previous 2 games, and perhaps the beefiness of the Roach is exactly what TLO was missing. Last game we really saw a lot of queens and swarm hosts, Vipers, and I really thought that composition was gonna shut down that entire death ball, especially with that blinding cloud. But HasuObs was able to handle that pretty near perfect. We are now seeing Immortals being added as well, and Immortals being added in order to shut down Roaches. This has just been absolutely perfect for HasuObs. He's been one step ahead of TLO throughout this matchup, getting the right proper counter units even before he figures out what his opponent is exactly doing. So far, TLO is going to be running up on 5 gas. We don't see a Spire as of yet. So if Colossi do come out, he will be a little bit behind in stopping them, since we already have the robotics facility just waiting on the robotics bay. TLO playing it a bit safe. Still deciding to sit inside his base. Meanwhile, HasuObs now trying to venture forth with a rather small army here. But it does have sentries and immortals, so this could be a 2-base all-in attempt. Now, let's take a look. Probe production has come to a halt. Level 1 weapons upgrade is going to be completed in about 10 seconds. And is TLO going to stop this? That is the key question, as the Roaches are now trying to push in. If they trade bases, this is not going to go well for TLO, because this base will fall quickly to the hands of Immortals, and then all HasuObs needs to do is just recall back home. Are we going to see a recall back home? Yeah, I believe so, as we are already going to see the aggression here to take down this hatchery. Front door taking a bit of damage. TLO trying to push its way through. Is it going to be enough? You can see that this one hatchery looks like it will be falling here in just a moment. And once it falls, are we going to see the recall? Yes, we do. And the recall has all the Roaches now in retreat. The sentries are in position and capturing all of TLO's units. That's exactly what I was afraid was going to happen for TLO. And TLO loses a base and loses his attacking force without really dealing that much damage. A huge turnaround. And this is one of those things where if you watch Warcraft 3, you know what's in store, you know what's going to happen. If you don't watch Warcraft 3 or you're not familiar with Warcraft 3, then you may have thought to yourself, oh yeah, everything's going to be okay. He's taking down my 3rd base. If I take down his natural, I'll still be up a base. Definitely not the case here, as we now have HasuObs continuing this pressure. Let's see though. Zerglings may try a run by, and oh, a Zealot does warp in just in time. There are a whole bunch of sentries right behind it. Zerglings now coming in, and now Stalkers are going to be reinforcing once more. Photon cannons are in position. One pylon now taken down as the Roaches are unable to engage. Zerglings now trying to pick apart this gateway, and it looks like it may be able to do exactly that. Are we going to get another recall home? Where is the mothership core? I don't know where the mothership core is at all. Where is it? It's in the middle of the field, back over here, not helping any side, and that is going to be a bad position for it, especially as this engagement now going on a bit long. HasuObs needs to be able to retreat with these units, and it looks as though HasuObs will be losing his own natural expansion. That is a bad trade. And somehow HasuObs, after doing a brilliant maneuver with the mothership core just moments ago, cannot repeat it. Immortals now trying to fight back the numbers still. Are we going to perhaps see an engagement? Where is the mothership core still hanging out in midfield and not doing anything, as now HasuObs trying to go for a ninja expansion in the top left-hand side of the map. All right, this hatchery has been canceled. We're going to see Roaches now try to engage, and oh, so many Roaches, and this is going to be bad here as the Immortals pretty much have nowhere to run. That Immortal just could not get away from range in time, and it looks as though, wow, one Immortal looked like he was going to have a field day shooting from beyond the force fields, but the Roaches with the range of 4 now coming back over the top, and now TLO looking like he is on top here in Game 3. Alright, here we have more and more Swarm Hosts coming in. Stalkers, Sentries now pushing forward as well. And what is going to be the follow-up play? Stalkers, Immortals now in the middle of the field. They're going to be making their way back down. You can see the Swarm Hosts quickly burrowing just to get those Locusts out onto the field. Time life, enduring Locust has been researched, 25 seconds, as now another round of Locusts will be coming out in just a second. Here we go. Oh, why didn't they burrow? Oh, they're going to burrow and get out those Locusts and now unburrow. There we go. Locusts are going to be pressing forward once more. Probes trying to get to that top left expansion while being hidden. There is one drone here, and that drone is going to spot everything. Talk about lucky, as TLO is going to spot this ninja expansion, and all TLO is wondering what the heck is going on there. All right, new units are going to be coming over to reinforce. There is one photon cannon, one zealot, just in case any Zergings are trying to engage. Here we go once more. Another engagement as HasuObs being very aggressive. Is he going to have enough? As we now see more attacking going on here. Warp Prism now warping up onto the high ground, and that was unspotted. Not spotted at all. A beautiful play as the Zealots now going to just absolute town to wreck the main base. Is the hatchery going to, or is the layer going to fall? That is a follow-up key question here, as the main aggression now happening at the front door. There are a bunch of Swarm Hosts, but I believe all the force fields will prevent any sort of engagement from those Locusts really at all, as we now see more and more Zealots trying to engage. However, the top left has Locust problems of their own. So many probes will get taken down. There you go. The probes are getting picked apart one at a time. And I believe TLO got a little bit of a lucky break there, able to take out that expansion. But HasuObs is still cleaning up and looking to finish off the layer here. Is HasuObs going to take this series 3-0? And if he does so, that would be perhaps one of the greater feats I've seen. HasuObs taking out TLO in pretty much Masters versus Diamond fashion, 3 straight games, always knowing what his opponent is up to. Overseer now looking to back away. We can see creep tumors are now down. What is going to be the follow-up play here? So far, Swarm Host now on the move. HasuObs still running on 2 bases. He does not have that many resources left back at home. His income is dwindling rather quickly, and is he going to have enough to fight this off? You can take a look. The Zerg army of TLO is actually much larger here, as we see a quick recall. Stalkers were not close enough to that recall. The fungal growth does cause a little bit of damage, but all the units did retreat and return home, as this base now looking to get established, and HasuObs is now a bit behind. So far, OBS 97, TLO 98 supply compared to OBS' 85. Does HasuObs have enough? We are even in terms of overall income workers, but TLO has a much more expensive or a larger army, and therefore a much more deadly army. You can see 65 to 45. 50% difference between HasuObs' army and TLO, and that is never a good sign there. Getting outnumbered 3-2 are not good odds in any war. Let's take a look at what's happening here. Overseer now still wandering around. Swarm Host now making a move over here, perhaps towards this base. The Overseer will get taken down alongside a drone. Are we going to perhaps see an engagement here? The Swarm Host now coming in with a whole bunch of Zerglings. There's some force fields, and all of those Zerglings decide not to engage. What is happening here? Why is this attack force flanking so hard as we now see Zealots coming into position? Is the main layer going to get taken down? It looks like it might be. And if the main layer is taken down, that is going to actually slow down a little bit the economy. But the main attack force now coming in doesn't care that there's a force field. Just toss the kids over the fence. Infested Terrans now inside the main as the Zerglings are running rabid. All right, HasuObs in a base trade situation. But in a situation where one side has more bases than the other, that is not a good base race at all. You can take a look. Overseers and Infestors now making a move off here. Zealots trying to take down some of the last couple of buildings. Spinecrawler looks like it will get taken down as well. Oh, the Spinecrawler isn't going to fall. Zealots are off over here. Level 1 weapons upgrade. Locust now coming back over. Who is going to win this base race as Overlord's not getting picked off? Hatcheries, how many buildings are across the map? There is one Zealot off over here. There's pylons here and here. I believe Liquid TLO does know about them. And this is just absolutely nerve-wracking for any player. Zealots now perhaps need to finish off this here. You can see that there is one observer nearby. The swarm host is now on the move, and it's going to regroup with the rest of those units. Oh, picking up the units at the last possible second. All right. Does HasuObs? No, there is the hatchery still off over here. All the units perhaps trying to make their way up onto the high ground. Zerglings gas still being mined. And this is still cutting it extremely close as we are now going into an aggression here. All right, this one Spinecrawler will get taken out. Zerglings now trying to make their move. Why not take down the hatchery? The hatchery is the key building that would end up revealing your opponent and all of his remaining buildings. And with that, if you know where all your opponent's remaining buildings are, you can find them and take them out. All right, this base race is still coming to a very strange conclusion. A very large attack force here. Zealots, Sentries, Immortals, and Mothership Core trying to wander around. Overlord, a drone now making its position over here, and it may try to grow up and have a hatchery there. There are a couple pylons here. Is that spotted? Yes, it is. Both sides are still fighting. Overlords are now going to get taken down. There is a swarm host off to the left. Is it spotted? All HasuObs needs to do is actually move over there in order to gain sight, and this one swarm host will get taken down. All right, the swarm host may get taken down, but will the Immortal go down? No, it does not. And just focus on the extractors now. Once the extractors are down, the rest of the buildings will bleed to death. Oh, new hatchery has been placed down by TLO, and that pretty much may be it. Yes, the new hatchery is known and spotted. And both sides with relatively small armies. How many buildings are left? Is TLO going to survive with one hatchery only? That may be the case. All right, wow. Overlords now swarming back. Stalkers with 1-0 upgrades. Swarm hosts, Zerglings with 0-0 upgrades. Overseers, Roaches with 0-0 upgrades. And HasuObs has 2 buildings to his name and nothing else. Overlord's now going to get shot down. Who has lost more? HasuObs has lost more, and it looks as though a couple more Overlords will get taken down in the process. But what is happening here? All right, all that needs to happen, get those units up onto the high ground and then start shooting onto the low ground. That is just enough. Are we going to perhaps be seeing exactly that? Infestor now making its move up onto the high ground. The Observer, or the Overseer, does spot this. Warp Prism is there, and is the Warp Prism... Oh, Locust now making their way up onto the high ground, wanting to make sure that they do not get flanked. All right. This is where Micro Wars really does come into play. Locust now trying to engage. There's some force fields. Where is the Observer? Is the Observer nearby? HasuObs now trying to engage against those Locusts. Locust free units. The Pylon now up on the high ground going to get taken down, as all the free units have been taken out, only to see more free units come over to take its place. All right, is there an Observer on the field? Yes, there are multiple Observers on the field as the Mothership Core now comes in, and perhaps the Mothership Core can get in some easy damage here. Mothership Core now going after the Swarm Host. Oh, this could potentially be bad. Infested Terrans now need to be brought over. Is it going to be enough? Do they have sight over here, the Overseer? And there is a time warp there, as the one of these Swarm Hosts may actually get taken down. We see an engagement here, and the Queen now being brought over. Locust now trying to make their way over. There's another force field. It's a little bit more of an engagement. And what is happening as we are now seeing another attack here? Oh, there is a fungal growth. Is it going to be enough? As we are still seeing more engagements. Zergling's now trying to run back down. Another time warp coming in. Another fungal growth, though. And this is bad news. No possible sight. Mothership core is going to get taken down. And there is the GG coming in from HasuObs. TLO takes game 3.